Sitaram, everybody.
Sitaram.
Let's do a little chant before we set up to do Arti. He Nanda Nanda Gopal, Ananda Nanda Gopal, He Nanda. Hey Nanda Nanda Gopal, Nanda Nanda Gopal.
Hey Nanda Nanda Gopal, Nanda Nanda Gopal.
Hey Nanda Nanda Gopal, Nanda Nanda Gopal. Everybody, let's all stand as we do Arti this morning. Put all our hands together. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam Deepam grihana devesham Trailokya timidapaham Jai Jagadisha Hari Swami Jai Jagadisha Hari
भक्तजनों के संगत दास जनों के संगत जन में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो जावे पद पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे अष्टमी कीर्तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण कहो किसकी स्वामी शरण कहो किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आशिक रोज सखी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता दीन दयालु कृपालु दीन दयालु कृपालु कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि मिलो दया में किस विधि मिलो दया में तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति भराओ श्रद्धा भक्ति भराओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे गोविंद बोलो
Everybody.
गोपाल
We sing together.
गोविंद
Jai
बोलो
Bolo Hari
गोपाल
Gopal
बोलो
Bolo.
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo.
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे मुरारी 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 जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी जय
Jai Govardhan Giridhari.
जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी
Jai Jai Govardhan Giridhari.
हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे मुरारी 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे मुरारी
Om Gajananam
भूतगणादि
Bhutaganadim
सेवितम्
Kapeta Jambo Palacharvashritam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Pankajam Sarvamangalamangaliye Shive Sarvadasarike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani
नमोस्तुते
Gurur Brahma
गुरुर्विष्णु
Gurur Devo
महेश्वरा
Gurur Sakshat
परं ब्रह्मा
Tasmai Shri
गुरुवे नमः
Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody.
ॐ नमः शिवाय
Om Namah Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Everybody, please have your seat. Make yourself comfortable. If all you want to put daddy and them in a chair, no, make all yourself comfortable already. Sitaram again, everybody. For all of you in the temple here, cordial welcome on behalf of the team at the Mandir that have graciously accepted you and I this morning to join with them as we prepare. Everybody's preparing for Hanuman Jayanti come Wednesday. Full moon is coming. And over this week, we had different occasions that caused us to read and come together, doing what we call Gyan Yagna. Simultaneously, this morning, we celebrate, I have to say, uncle and auntie, prayer right Samaru and Samdev Jaikaran. I know them as Auntie Angela, Mommy and Daddy. These two people celebrate yesterday 59 years wedding anniversary. Let me give them a clap. And this morning we did wonderful puja, telling God, thank you for all the years that you provide. Too often for younger people, when you hear people celebrate a mile mark like this, we quick to celebrate and knock drum and, you know, you hear the tassa and everything. And in it, you lose sight of what you're really giving thanks for. This morning, we're going to discuss a little bit, not to make my uncle and my auntie cry and dredge things up, but to use the opportunity because when they were doing the prayer, I don't know how much they pray for themselves. When people reach our age, you just start to pray for everybody else, for the elders here, the children, the grandchildren, everybody else first. And dear God, bless me too, kind of thing at the end. This morning, we're going to spend a little time to learn, because this is Gyan Yagna, and learn, and when we get something, they get the blessing, because whatever we learn this morning is a credit to their prayers and their satsang. Uncle is a follower of Kabir Das, Guruji. He's a member, a senior man in the Kabir Panth. And for young people, it's a wonderful occasion for us to discuss it, because people hear the name, younger people today have no idea what it represents. And for a little bit, a short while, we're going to see what it is, Kabir Panth, what it represents, and how it ties to what we practice and what we believe, the sense in it, literally, for the Hindu. Kabir Das, the name Das, refers to a servant of the Lord, of his message, his teaching. So Tulsidas, Krsna Das, in this example, Kabir Das, is a 15th century saint, a guru, that did not exactly follow the tenets that we follow. He comes from northern India. Until today, his teachings reverberate in places like Varanasi, in North India side. People still follow. What is Kabir Panth? People that believe that knowledge is paramount, that you have to live a particular way. So in this following vegetarianism, last time we talked a lot about showing compassion. You cannot follow this man's teachings, this guru's teachings, and be a cruel person. You cannot have that kind of mind. Me and you, and I'm being straight here now, it's just us here today. Me and you, we say, God, you live inside everybody. Chicken, goat, human, man, woman, and then me go and beat the dog. Shut your mouth. Then me and you go and take a lathi and hit the buffalo, pull the cane, and in different ways, rough up. You're a boss, insult. You're just a venny, mixing concrete in my yard. You are less than, and speak to even human beings in that way, in a derogative way, in a hurtful way. But we believe God lives inside everybody. The person who is a follower of Kabir Das believes that that emotion of devotion that you have for the Murti, the way you bow and offer yourself, the same way, treat the animal, treat everything, if not with just the compassion. You thirsty, the sun hot, the dog thirsty too. That's a major thing. For that reason, they believe in following a lifestyle of vegetarianism. For one example. In following Kabir Das, they believe everybody have to find a way back to God. In Doha, in his book, all his writings, I hope I pronounce this thing correct, Bijak. His teachings are compiled in Doha format, in a rhythm. We call him poet. You will hear about Kabir Das Bhajan in different places. But his Dohas teach a message with illustration. In the 19th Doha, he talks about how this trap of the caste system is a trap that we get caught up in. That the person who calls himself Brahman believes their blood to be blue and better, and another man to be lesser. But when you go to your Gita and you hear the soul is like a dear light, equal in every way. There's nothing called a male soul or a female soul, Gosine soul or Dasi soul. The truth is, everybody come from one place, God. And Guruji is guiding, you have to go back right where you come from. Don't get caught in a trap, thinking you are better than or lesser than. When Sudama, for example, goes to Krishna and he tells him, I am a Brahman, yes, but I live like an outcast. I didn't have good karma. Look how I live. Starving, suffering. The same God put me through all the pressure and it bring me down, it humbled me in this life. The same Brahman, Ravan, in our previous night discourse, he acts in a demonic way. And you don't look at him as a pundit. You look at him as somebody who is born with great potential, but now your activity and your action is acting in a different way. So the title that people put that give way the false pride, Kabir Das saying, don't get tied up with that. Don't get confused with that. Don't get confused with all the roles that you have. This morning, just to start off for my uncle, I'm reading this for him. He says, in this life, and I'm reading uncle from Doha 18, Sabda 18. He says, do not become a thief. If you follow the name of God, and he refers to Ram, all the different avatar of Lord Vishnu, the Matsya, the fish, the Narsingh, everything, then we have to be careful. We don't get catch in a trap where I am rich, I am a doctor, I have this accolade, I have that accolade, and you think to yourself, I am better, like how Ravan thought he was better than Ram. Ram is just a little boy. When they lift in the bow for Seeta Mata, I am more powerful. And the day comes, and you'll hear it in Valmiki Ramayan, when he has to give up the fight, he has to give up this life, and he's getting ready to go back to meet Ram for the last time. Mandodri says, it is not late yet, you could still let go that guilt. And he says, listen, for all the fight I fight. Adhyatma Ramayan says, for all the fight I fight, for everything I do, I know it's time for me to go back. Now it's time for me to take off this crown. All the faith, all the muscle, all the power that I had, it is of no use in front of him. That realization, Kabir is saying, realize it now. Otherwise, what we do, we become cheat. How do you become a cheat? We know God is good and God is powerful. And sometimes when we want. Chant his name is what we're taught. Just the name, just use the name. Sing the name. Don't ever learn about him. Don't ever grow in his knowledge. Just sing his name and see how much blessing it brings for you. He says a cheat is somebody who only uses his name and doesn't use him, learn from him, learn about him. He says, watch how crazy we become when you follow that method. He says, when you do it, if you want goal, do you sing goal, 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 goal? Do you call faith like that alone? You'd never have to work faith. You never have to develop and grow yourself and work to achieve what you want and what you want to keep. He says, then, dear child, dear Shishya, do not become a thief. As you grow in the knowledge of his name, grow in knowledge of his teaching, grow in knowledge of what he represents, and with the knowledge, you will find your way back to him. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. In Kabir's teaching, he talks a lot about knowledge. Don't depend what we do as Sanatanists, and it happens a lot in Kali Yuga. We depend on the Guru, on the Pandit. I don't need to know Ramayan. I don't need to know Gita. Once Baba knew it. Once Mami them knew it. I could just sing my little bhajan and I could hold right there. But the truth is, you have to learn it. Gyan Yagna teaches that in order for you to find your God, you have to learn the innards of your Dharma. Today, I'm going to show you a couple of examples how when we don't have the knowledge, we become lacking and weak of it. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. As we on the topic of, to illustrate the point, work with me. As we on the topic of marriage. You ever get invitation for the wedding? Anybody wedding? And on the card you see who? Who does have on all the card? Ganesh Baba most of the time. I went to do prayers this morning and I don't know how it is working in Preysal. For the people looking on, I don't know how it is working in your country. When they were doing the Ganesh prayers, they didn't put Tulsi leaf. This morning we're going to spend time gaining a little knowledge. Work with me. The question is, why? When we were smaller, my grandmother used to tell me, don't put the Tulsi leaf, simple practice, don't put the Tulsi leaf inside the Panchamrit or the Parsa. The Baba go put it. Okay. I never know why. I just follow what my grandmother tell me. When we sit to do prayer, I really notice Ganesh Parsa don't have Tulsi. I don't know if you know this. What do you do at home? And when you ask yourself that now, this is how this work. When you realize I'm deficient, I didn't know, I never thought about it. This morning I'm going to read for you a small excerpt from Brahmavaivarta Puran. Ganesh Baba and Tulsi Mata are about to meet, and a little trouble going to happen here. In this section of this text, which focuses a lot on Ganesh Baba, Guruji is asking, tell me how come there's a correlation, there's a trouble between Ganesh and Tulsi. But the Tulsi, and I'm asking you this, you are the Hindu, I am not. Work with me. If Tulsi Mata is so great, last night we hear from Hanuman Katha, wherever the Vishnu Bhakt live in, where Vibhishan live in, Tulsi just grow and proliferate. It has got plenty. Where good people there, Tulsi is a sign of positivity. When I put Tulsi in the person who dying in their mouth, the water, that is bring liberation. Anytime I have to charhawe a piece of cloth or a prasad, forget the Ganesh for a second, Christian for example, I have to put Tulsi plant. Somebody funeral going to do. If me I put a piece of the Tulsi root, it's incomplete. And you see the part where they put the wood in the coffin before they burn it? It have to have the Tulsi wood. The best mala to make for Sri Ram in Ram Naumi Katha is with the Tulsi flowers. You see how they thread in this? They hang it off like this. So they don't separate it, the whole head. They will take it and thread it. Tulsi is very important. But if she's so important, auntie, how come she did like a little shrub, man? Why we don't have a Tulsi Murti? A simple example. That we just say your child or your grandchild come and ask you that, Ma, I hear you say that fig tree is Mahavishnu, but then I see you have a big Vishnu Murti. I see Shaligram, different forms of him, all blessing me, all enriching me, giving me the Vardhan. It have a blessing if I do Narmada Lingam prayer, brown stripe one. And then if I go to the Mahakal, the black one to the back, in our Mandir this morning, it have a different blessing, different help. There's crystal form of Lord Shiva. There is white form of Lord Shiva. And if I bow to each, depending on who I go by, the different form, I will get different blessing. Ganesh Baba had different form. It have a red one. When you have an abusive relationship or a child manage here listening to mother and father, he going to school and fighting, temper is the problem. Pray to that red Sindura Ganesh, and the obstacle of that temper, the violence, will come out. If you have the child born and they can't talk properly or the tongue heavy, a stroke victim and the tongue is heavy, worship Ganesh in a green form. If you ever see somebody make a murti with peepar leaf, sometimes in a pitya form, this is what I'm talking about. The murti could look very green, green like a leaf. Pray to him and ask him for blessing, so that when the obstacle is that kind of trouble, the child don't remember nothing, the maths don't stay, getting frustrated. Some children have dyslexia, some children have different problem. Ganesh Baba, please take away that trouble, help my child to improve. For example, I understand the murti, maybe the name have a benefit, but I never understand how come that lady in a little bush form, man. Please, Guruji, teach me this thing. I don't understand. I'm doing the prayers. Everybody tell me, and you do prayers for she. I bow and I offer in dar. When the girl now go, if somebody asks you, you're now married. These people married 59 years. When they're now married, the next morning, we know I was talking to one of the auntie about sharing parsad last night. I don't know for the gentlemen, I would say it for the ladies to remember. When they're going to let go the mud, typical wedding, where they call Matikurna and they bring the mother in the earth form, the tassa plane, etc. They bring the dirt. When the wedding finish, boy and girl maybe nowadays on honeymoon, they move in. The ladies them just go to carry back the mud by the river. And in that ceremony, it is our West Indian culture that the 5 ladies, the girl dalpuri and the sweet rice, they pray to she, bless we house, bless we marriage. And they will share the parsad, carry peace for your husband. That is the same Mangala Gauri prayers that Seeta Mata did last night. Because of this puja we do with the mother and we get the blessing, we do Shiv worship. Make sure and bless and protect your marriage to be long, to be happy and to be good. That is how that lady would pray, the mother in the house. But on the morning after the honeymoon starts, the girl gets up and she goes to offer a lota of water by that Tulsi plant to bless and protect she marriage and now start in this new work. In this new way, please bless me. Where may I know to learn, to adjust. My father used to make, for example, my father used to cook food with no pepper. And now husband, he love all the pepper in the world. So I had to learn, I had to retool myself now. Give me the ability to make that adjustment. Tulsi worship is done for that. In this example, why? Today, let me hear a little bit. Uncle asked me to read something that will benefit everybody. Our focus is knowledge. Before she was the plant, she was a girl. Tulsi is a woman. She gets married. We know it's somebody discourse where the shaligram come from. Tulsi, the lady, puts the strap on Lord Vishnu and says, your heart is cold as a stone because he did something. Leave Lakshmi in heaven and come on the earth as a black cold stone. So we have the shaligram, not the lingam, the one we just bathe the milk with, Lord Vishnu. Tulsi is the person who does that. But where did that story start? And why is she so integral in the wedding thing? Let's hear everybody as we enter into Brahmavaivarta Puran Ganapati Khan in the last chapter. Pahi pahi, pahi pahi, Gajanana, Parvati Nanda Gajanana. Narad Vakshayami Parahar Paramatma Ye Tulsitam Vrikshya Ekada Tulsitam Pratyatal Ye Ati Pai Pai Mata Jitindra Prabhakaryena Yogindrayam Ye Yati Supalaye Rupani Nishkaltam Sankalpyena Ye Yato Pari Pari
Pari Pari Pari Gajanana Parvati Nanda Gajanana
Parvati Nanda Gajanana. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki. Hey. Tulsi is a young girl at this point. Human being, no Tulsi plant exists. This is before that. Every day, this young girl goes to pray with her mother. Narad Muni is asking Lord Vishnu, please tell me the history of that plant and what happens between Ganesh and Tulsi. The mother would go into the prayer room offering flowers, nice delicacies, etc. But when time to pray, the mother would say, dear Lord, please protect my husband. Please protect him. He's a king. Bless him to do all his duties. Bless him to win when he has to fight. Bless him to be good. Bless him to be happy. Bless him to be healthy. And the little child would listen very carefully, understanding the prayer, listening to everything. And one day the innocence in she says, Mom, how come you don't pray for yourself? Mom, how come you don't pray for me? How come you don't only pray for Daddy? Why you just only pray for Daddy? She says, daughter, as a lady, and I'll explain this part for you a little more when Seeta Mata is getting this training. As a lady, I believe that in doing my duty in marriage, doing my duty in the home, as a mother maybe, I believe that is the work, the Seva, that will grant me the doors of the heavenly region. For this reason, I pray for him, and in turn, he does pray for me. By doing your job in your marriage, a lady is assured to find peace and happiness, not only in this life, but in the next one. The little girl listened to it. Didn't say anything. Taking in the mother advice and guidance and explanation. 2 days pass, 3 days pass, come back, prayers. She makes a sankalp. After the mother finishes, she prays, Mom, if a girl needs marriage in order to get blessing, if in the marriage she gets blessing into this extent, then Ma, I want to get married too. What is the delay? Longer I take to get married, then I have to wait so long to get blessing. I want to get married. No, Mom. The mother says, babe, you will get married, but you're very young right now. One day we'll get you married. Didn't want to hear that. The innocence puts she hand on top of Lord Shiva Lingam and she makes a sankal, a promise, a statement. The first boy that touched me, that's my husband. Trouble for the mother now. Now the mother has to change all the friends, all the servants, all the guards from male to female. And as time passes, the mother ensures, as she's growing 5 years old, 6 years old, that young age, to support you with only the girls, the damsels, so that there would be no boy at this time. But inside the girl, she held on to what the mother teaches her to pray. Think about yourself. We know it have this, it have that, it have all the different steps, but we don't learn our religion, our spirituality like that. Between me and you, what my mother practiced, that is what I'll do. If they had the practice of offering dar, jal on a Tuesday, that is what you grew up doing. If Ma used to fast 9 days for Naratam, that is what you will do. You emulate, you practice, you grow, you go to the pundit, you hear, well, you know you should do it this way, you should do that this way. I only know it one way, pundit. My mother used to do it so, my mother-in-law used to do it so, and that is what I do. This lady is really the first guru based on what we say last night. She is imprinting everything in you. The father, no different. My father used to make sure, you see, before we do that offering by that puja room, we had to sweep that prayer room for that man, you know. That man was a meticulous fella for cleanliness. We couldn't just go like all the young people today without our urni on we head. He used to say, hello, cover your hair. And that standard, that man put that inside of me. I grow with that standard. That is why I grow and I learn and I develop. Inside her, she no husband yet, but Lord, when you go send my husband, when you send my husband, then I go start, then I go do, then I go be happy. Because when I started work and I get the blessing of the Lord, then I will associate that work with my happiness. One day she tells the mother, Ma, allow me to go by the Ganges. I want to say my prayers. As a young girl, the Ganges flowing close by. She goes, Narad Muni, and she's throwing stone like a child, skipping stone in the water. Ganga Mata, when will you send my husband? When will you send my Raja for me? I grew up seeing mommy praying for daddy and I want to be happy too. It so happens, Narad Muni, if you ever see, when Ganesh Utsav come, blue is something, is a funny color for Hindus. We don't decorate with blue. We don't offer it. We don't use it. Why? Mahadev Baba, that is found in Shiv Puran, tells Nandi, the colors make a difference. We talk about the yellow string. We talk about why Lord Krishna is described as Pitambar. The yellow, it have a Devi that sits in the yellow, and we call her Pitambari. Pitambari is a goddess that brings about victory, good luck, good things. So we use the yellow, for example, go in the wedding, and you see the kangan of all the color God make, yellow. All the tie between the boy and the girl, yellow. When they're blessing the seat for the Dolaha to sit down, yellow. Because mother, you stand here and bless them wherever they do. Let it get through. Let it be successful. But he says blue is a different thing. I use blue for illusionary things. So when the person sitting for the puja, his point in that discourse, and I'm summarizing, we don't wear blue. Why? You go where the ocean day, and you go and find blue water for it. It looks blue, but cup it in your hand, there's no blue. You go in the sky, you're looking for blue sky, there's no blue sky. He says, I put things that are not real in that color. For that reason, when the person is wearing blue, when you are making the offering or you are sitting for prayer, it would be as if your body is exposed. It is not real, it is made for illusionary things. So the Hindu grow with wearing colors like white, or a color like red or yellow that has a particular wavelength or benefit, charging the person. Sometimes if you go with your Baba and you see red and yellow on the Raksha Sutra, the yellow represents, in that case where it mixed together, the blessing of Lord Vishnu. The red is the blessing of Brahma, sitting on the person, blessing, protecting them. Like Raja Bali, when Lord Vishnu comes as the dwarf, bless them and protect them, keep them as your worker and save them. Vishnu Bhagwana ki Jai. But in this katha, Ganesh is sitting on the side of the bank, praying now, imagine, sitting doing job, but he in blue. So if you ever see a Ganesh Pitya or Murti where he's wearing blue, this is from this discourse. He sat there doing what? Krishna's job. He's doing job for Lord Krishna. Eyes closed, big belly, flapping ears, trunk moving. The little girl is walking up the stream. Dear mother, please bless me to get a husband. Please send my husband. Please send my husband. Please send my husband. And turn so big Raja belly. Ganesh is very funny, with his big belly. When you're doing the chant, Lambo, Dara, when you watch me God, everybody just look like they come from the gym. Everybody is muscular. But the belly that he has to do with his Lord Krishna and Parvati Mata when she was praying for a child. She taking out food for him in that discourse. And he said, Ma, oh God, if you take out so much of food, my belly go get big. Well, I bless your son, have a big belly. Be called Lambodar because of the blessing of this mother. Ganesh Baba, belly of all the devatas we have, is huge. He's called literally the big belly, the pot belly one, because of the blessing of his mother, because of the love of the devotion of that lady. That is where that came from. Tulsi, the girl, is walking, and when she turns so, she see, I never see a big fair man with his big old elephant head and belly, amazed. Imagine a child seeing it. She said, well, where you come from? Ganga just make my husband for me. So she gone up to him And she started to choke the belly and pull the ears. She went and she take the cold water from the Ganga and she throwing it now to interrupt the prayer. He opened my eye and he said, little girl, don't you know if you interfere with people when they are praying, you get a strap? Look, I am praying to Krishna. And Krishna is very forgiving. Prepare Raj. He just forgive everybody quick. Doesn't get angry. My father, Shiva, different. When you do wrong, you get punishment. But Krishna is forgive. If you leave now, if you leave me alone to go back in my prayer, I'll forgive. Close back the eye, consider it done. And she come with she cold water again and wetting it. Little girl, who is your father and why they didn't train you properly? She says, listen, I am the princess for this area. My father is the king. And I have come here praying for my husband. And I have chosen you to be my husband. Organize yourself. We're going to get married. It's your lucky day. If you never hear this part, please listen to this. Ganesh Baba starts to laugh at her. Say, marriage? You're mad. You might doubt this part. Let me read it for you. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha. Come on everybody, let me sing a little bit. We're going to finish just now. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Chatparyena ham Krishna kripayahe Vishwayenataham Ganeshwaryayatam Kalpayenayaka Narayana Priyatam Vishwadevayatam Kal Ayati Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 He Mataryaham Vakshahe Ayate Gore Ye Ayatam Vishwagrihayatam Grihahastiyatam Dukha Sukhayati Kadati Chainyaham Vishwahe Ayati Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Jai Jai Radha Ramana. Jai Jai Radha Ramana. Jai Jai Radha Ramana. Jai Jai Radha Ramana. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Principle of Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Listening to the words of this little girl, he starts to laugh and he says, dear girl, are you crazy? Me get married? I am afraid what one girl will do in my life. Do you know what one lady will do? Do you know what you're talking about? Marriage? Marriage is a trap. Listen good, eh? This is your Ganesh talking here. When God, imagine my soul, I work so hard to get the good things that I have in this life. The happy moments, the karma. I work for it. Huma Jannam coming up the road. A person is born with them good graces in this life. But when you get a spouse, when you go and you get married, you take all your time. Everything you work hard for, janam after janam, and now I have to forget my God and good and job and good thoughts and focus now on the spouse. They had to eat. I had to fix them. My life now, instead I become a sevak or a dasi for the God, I become a dasi for my spouse. I'm afraid what that life would be. That would only damage me. That would only take me away from a God. Here we gone and say no. Ola listen good, sitaram, sitaram. Ola hear good. He said, then the real burden is come. Guess where's the burden? Here would this man up and say, my goodness. He said, the real sin is come. The trap is get bigger. Sharon. In the Grihasti Ashram, the person is praying for family advancement. What are they talking about? For the parents here and the grandparents, it have something called the first when they're now married. And the boy and the girl make up their mind, it's time to have kids. In the Sanatanist method, one of the sanskar, this is after wedding, obviously, we do something called Garba Sanskar. Garba is the Hindustani word for the womb. Garba. Let me say the egg. So in the prayer, how it is look, the boy and the girl sit down with the Baba, do puja, just like what you know. But the difference in this prayer, the uniqueness of this prayer, in the bedroom, between husband and wife, the husband prays between husband and wife in this private moment, that dear God, he puts his hand on her belly and private region and say, God, I offer parsad for you. Bless it. When everybody get it, they get blessing. I offer you this space that we are going to put a baby here. Bless what is going to come here to be touched and sanctified by you. Don't let this girl get too sick. Don't let she suffer in pregnancy. Bless me to be successful. And you know, all they like to say, Baba, you make your child, but you make the mind. Hindu don't agree with that at all. Hindu believe that when husband and wife come together, for example, on the even days, full moon come in, new moon just gone. The even days, the second day, the chouth day, the fourth day, the sixth day, the eighth day, when you conceive on those days, you will get a subject to correction off the top of my head, boy children. On the odd days, first day, third day after the moon, fifth day, seventh day, girl children will come. On the different date, if you want a politician, somebody who will be very academic, somebody who will be very courageous. I'm a soldier, for example. I'm a police officer. I want a child. You see, when it's fire, when it's trouble, I want the child to run brave into the trouble, not be a coward and run from the trouble. I want somebody to make me proud. Imagine a king like Raja Dasrath praying for a child to be a prince, but I want a strong. I want somebody who will take my name and make me proud. I'm a businessman. I want somebody to have that intellect, how to work, how to talk to workers, how to talk to a customer and work with people, to have that gab or that ability to speak. That people must love them. You see, when I had to buy rice, I have to go by that proprietor. I have to go by that shop. I'm loyal to him because of how he does treat me. That ability starts with this moment in the garba. Bless the belly and what coming from the belly. When 3 months come, baby, they conceive. Bless the head, the nerves. Watch our father and mother just pray. Bless the brain, no dyslexia, no what you call it? Down syndrome, no ADHD in today's world. Bless the brain to form properly, God. You put it there. 6 months, the heart forming, the lungs forming, make the body perfect. 8 months, bless the persona. Bless the lungs to form properly. Oh, you make this child with praise. Child is born yet, look at praise. When all this is happening, he says, all this you're talking about, I am losing more and more time with my God now. No, I have to focus on children. Practical terms, if I give you $5 in your pocket, parents, you're going to take it and buy something for yourself. Pound it running on fumes. You had to drink my coffee. You're going and buy your coffee. Or you're going to say, Babs, the child had to get a sketch pad. The child had to get a socks. I wanted to buy a cake. They fasted today, Babs. I had to buy fig for them. Daddy celebrating 59 years anniversary. You feel it is stopped when you reach 40? Correct, all you older than me, I was a little boy in front of some all you. When they're married and they go, you don't find your $5, you somehow still find yourself going there to buy gift. I see a pineapple and I remember you. Then grandchildren come, oh God. Your last dollar, your last prayer. Think about, in front of your Murti. God, you give me time. But in the time that I have, the prayers that is go and say, me I'm praying for myself. I praying for everybody else. Boy, my son-in-law, good stupid. Eh? My daughter-in-law can't cook to save she life. But God bless, she wanted the roti over from hard to soft. In different ways. Look at the distraction this thing is put. It's hard for a grihasti, a householder, to find God in middle of all of this. It's hard. He says, listen, in order for this thing to work properly, you want to marry me, but I'm afraid what you gonna do to me. I'm afraid what you gonna bring in my life. This marriage thing is a curse. Please, please don't check me in that. Go when people want to marry and commit themselves and really take the time, the blessing, the good that God give them and share it with somebody else. Die marriage. You go and find somebody who want to do that and you're going to be good. Don't let one person want to marry and the next person didn't ready to commit. What kind of married life you going to have? You leave me out of that sin, you go and leave me alone right here and I going to be happy. If today, sitting where you is, you would believe in light in your dia. Let me say Diwali time. And somebody come, and just a simple example between me and you. Somebody say, see that dia you're lighting? That good stupid, isn't it? You see that darn you're offering? God, you're stupid. What are you doing that for? And somebody insult what you believe in. You know how you go feel? Or how you does feel when people say those things? How you just feel, oh God, I'm doing my prayers, me minding your business. Don't mind mine. Let me do my part in peace. If people could just leave me alone to pray, I'll be so glad. But no, they come and they interfere. Tulsi little girl grew up knowing one thing from she mother. Marriage is not just two people making family and making children, sharing a mortgage, etc. Marriage is equivalent to the prayer, to a life of service that will get me to my God, like part of my puja. And you just insult that? She says, because you hurt me. Because of how you bad talk marriage, today I'm going to put a strap on you. Let me hear what she's telling before we conclude this bit here. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada
Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jai Samba
Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
श्राप ये ना औरत ते देवी ये ना द्वितीयातम पूरा ये ना महबल्ला महस्वरूपा विवाय हम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणा
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
जय भोले बाबा तब शरणा
Jai Bhole Baba Tab
जय भोले बाबा
Sharanam.
तब शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय. She says, I'm going to put a strap on you. Look at me. And she spreads her hands up. Look at how beautiful, young, supple my body is. Why don't you want me? Look at how pretty I am. Look at how sexy I am. You should want me. You should be attracted to me. What is wrong with you? How you could bad talk marriage, man? You're afraid marriage? I put a strap on you, oh Ganesh. From today, you're seeing every wedding, you become the main devta in every wedding. For all the fathers here, when you're doing the dwar prayers and you're going to marry your child, and you come dwar meaning doorway, and you're praying whoever come in here, bless them to come in my place good and calm and nice. It is an elaborate Ganesh prayers. Mommy, mother-in-law want to give the Mangal Sutra, the Pandit, you have to bless it. The wedding ring, you have to bless it. Ganesh mantra, Ganesh mantra, Ganesh mantra, over and over and over and over again. When you see the invitation, when you see the decoration, when you see it all, Ganesh, Ganesh, Ganesh. Why? Because of this. You go and you have to sit. Every time you have a wedding, they will call you. Whenever somebody celebrating an anniversary, how do you celebrate anniversary? Ganesh Baba, you was there at the beginning. The first day I put the ring on she hand. The first day I put the sindoor on she forehead. You was there, blessed and sanctified to continue. Baba, you have to bless the sindoor. Ganesh prayers by your power. Remove the obstacles that could plague a married couple and bless them to have many years together. Why do you wear the wedding ring? Hindu people, we don't put wedding ring on left hand, first of all. Hindu people believe in the right hand. Right hand. The ring finger. They put the stone and they ask Ganesh, sit down on that stone. In case you didn't know. Pass it in the fire, sit in the stone, so that when the sun hit the stone and the energy, the wavelength, get into the boy or the girl hand through their blood supply, change the person from single to now committed. What is the logic? First night I mentioned how people pop the ears to make the child a little more intelligent, talk faster. Karna Vida Sanskar, you call it. Now imagine, I'm married yesterday. Let me be fair. Does that mean I change? I get a ring on my hand as a man, a lady have a little powder on her forehead. But does that mean that I will conduct myself in a committed, fair way? That means, all right, we talk about the $5 in my pocket. I'm coming up the road. I go on to buy a beer or I go in and buy a bag of bread. The decision, the change between being single and being committed in that example. What you're going to do? Hey girl, you need bread home? How the person is going to change. Think for one person, simple language. Think for one person or think for two people. Do you think, okay, I want to go on holiday, long weekend. I like to go by the beach. I go do it. Or you're going to start to think, where we go do? She don't like the beach, you know, the sun hot, she black, she want to go there. Let me do something to please she too. The person goes through a transition in decision-making choices. Me, Keshava, never liked sweet pepper. But she come, I started like sweet pepper. I never had arthritis pain. Liming with people with pain, they start to pick up pain. When you're in the car and that person have a girl to get in car accident, you know who get in an accident too? Liming with somebody, they start to pick up good and bad. All ever see that? That's part of marriage. You go and you be the devta for all. You be there, witness everyone. Ganesh Baba put your hand together and take it. Had no choice. She said, further. See you. You're afraid what one lady go do you? Married two. And unless he had two ladies, ready and city, please understand it had a backstory, and this is that backstory. So when Ganesh Utsav come and you see everybody parading him and he has these two girls, it was because of that Tulsi. When she finished, he said, Devi, I accept it. You see, when people have to do Neuta with the yellow rice, where they see now in the culture, where they stick it in the card. For children, long ago, people used to send a representative or now, a Naunia, by this one house and that one house, and they say, give them the yellow rice. The yellow is the goddess, that when you throw the rice, the Devi would take away obstacles from the married couple. But the prayers they used to say to bless the rice is Ganesh prayers. So people used to share the rice, I inviting you, and I'm hoping and praying that the date don't get thrown off. I don't want nobody die. For example, please keep the rice, save the date, come to my wedding. That is how they used to do it. Now they just stick it in the card, but it's the same thing. Keep the rice, come into the wedding. God bless you. Don't let nobody die in your house. Make sure and come, family and friend alike. Prem se bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki. Say, well, my turn to give you a shrap now. He say, you see how you stretch your hand and you say, watch my body. You see nakedness. You see rudeness, lack of modesty. It don't pay. Today, as you're sitting down here, God make everybody. And first night we were saying that the soul is neutral energy, but God is make a decision. You go inside a girl body, you go inside a boy body based on karma. How does God know who becomes the dog, who becomes a tree, etc.? It's because of karma. When people, for example, are drinking coffee, you know, it have an example when you like to go and eat in unclean place by the funeral ground. Young people today wouldn't understand this. Don't go and eat by the creek or where they're burning are dead. Why? The doubles, they stay so nice. The snow cone, when it had the little ashes from the dead man burning and you mix it in them, it have a little extra seasoning there, mommy. I like to eat it. Don't talk about when you open the trunk and you're doing other things, right? When you go where it have a death and you go by the house, in Puran they explain this discourse. And the person, hey, you hear Keshava, them have a death, let we go. We will get coffee, we will get cake and whatever else they have. It have a sin to that. When you eat in an unclean place, when you become like a scavenger, let me see what I could get from them people. Them done lost somebody in this example. You're supposed to give, and you see how people who know they send a little bread based on what they could afford, a pack of coffee. You go have, I go send a little water, me I have money boy, but I go send me table, I go send a chair to help lift you. Go and help them, but don't go and feed on them. If you ever see a pundit say, auntie, you're offering me aloo pie, water, nice things, it is not bad, but the place chutti her, I wouldn't eat today. What is the problem when you eat in an unclean place? Where is really tanty trouble if you open your trunk and eat something by the cemetery? When you eat in an unclean place in your next life, you are born as a dog. That is the kick for it. You are born not any dog. It have dog who just get diamond necklace, etc. The dog would just have no owner, nobody will love it. It is had to scavenge for garbage. It is die on the road without any sahur, any type of love or care. This animal, although God make it, follow me, and God make the dog, how this cold, hard life come for the animal? You live like a scavenger, go and born like a scavenger. Depending on what you do, God is take your soul from this body and put you accordingly into a frame. Okay, cool, I understand you are working. When the person like to be rude, when the person like to show the body, in this example, she stretch her hand and she have now she body on display, he say, go and be born as a tree and spread your hand wide and lay all that was supposed to be private, your fruit, let me just say the mango and the mango tree, let everybody see the mango. And you wanted to show people your body, go and be that. In Christian Katha, when you hear Nalan Kubara, when Christian gone between the two trees, what was causing them to be born as two trees? Nakedness, disrespect, no modesty. He says, I curse you, be born as a shrub. You're small, you're a short stature person, go and be born as a little plant. No, she realized, I'm in trouble. She says, forgive me, please, I didn't realize who I'm dealing with. If I go and born as a shrub, how will I get back to where I am now? I have all my senses, all my good, bodily function. Please don't do me this. He says the only way I could grant you some mercy, my Krishna, who I pray in here to, he's very forgiving. When he prayers have to do Shaligram, Christian prayers, Tulsi will always be there, very close to him. In fact, all devatas will use your leaves, your flowers, your sticks, your wood. The mala I was wearing last night, when your Tulsi grow big and she dry in your yard, people will harvest from her stock and drill through the tree, making the mala that we wear. When the person is japping with the Tulsi mala, you get different blessing. You will become integral in worship. Without you, it will be incomplete. But you will never be accepted in my puja. So this is bringing me back to the Panchamrit, like when my grandmother tell me, don't put the Tulsi, the Baba is offered the first spoon by Ganesh Baba, and after you put the Tulsi in it, and you continue for everybody else. Prem se bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. This is how the Tulsi plant come. This is where it starts. But this married thing hard in practical, in real terms. In Valmiki Ramayan, young wife Seeta is about to get a lecture from somebody named Anasuya. Anasuya Devi is the wife of Atri Muni. And this is where now they're in the forest. And when they leave where they were living, where Kaushalya and everybody come and meet them, Chitrakut, they went to the house where this Muni was living. And they are very senior, very powerful people. And this is the first time somebody going to give Seeta Mata, the young wife, some advice. Let me hear what they say in this Ramayan. Today, Uncle, what we learn something. We have to learn something, everybody. Knowledge have to spread. The first thing when she pulled, she said, "Ole man talk, Ram, Atri Muni, Lakshman, ole talk outside. Give me that young Dulahin, give me that young girl." And she went inside and she says, "You sit with me and let me talk to you a little bit as a daughter." Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Yadhaye Ram Bhave Varshya Anand Vriprajeevantayate Adya Mritya Parvarshakyatam Tat Paramaya Bhaveyati Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. The first version of Ramayana is written by Valmiki. Valmiki is not the Pandit. The history of this person called Valmiki makes you think about what we perceive as a good person or a holy person or the best person. When you call somebody Guru, you look, you expect the mala, you expect the janev, you look away. Anybody who have this, that makes you a Pandit, if you understand me, in this Kali. Valmiki is described as a bandit who was a kidnapper. And in that discourse, the same person who writes this whole book, every time you hear Ramayan, Anand Ramayan, Tulsidas Ramayan, it's penned, it starts from Valmiki. It comes from a very sinful person. One day, Valmiki the bandit, robbing, thieving, kidnapping, ransoming people. His godfather said, "Why are you so crooked for, man? You're living this life and you're living in such an unrighteous way. Why are you doing this? What will you do with all this sin that will come from it?" He says, "Well, I have to provide for my family. They depend on me. Because of my karma, I have wife, I have children, I have to take care of them. But don't worry, everybody is eating the sin that I inherit." Guruji say, "You feel so? Go and ask the wife, go and ask the children. When daddy thief and he bring home the money, piece is yours. The bread, the roti is piece is yours. Good. How much sin, how much share sin daddy earn will they help you take?" I sure my wife could take some of that sin. She loved me a lot. Go on home and he asked me, "Devi, I had the thief to bring that food. I had the murder. He do a lot of heinous things. How much of the sin will you share in half of what I have?" She said, "No. You're mad? You are the husband here. I touch your foot. You are supposed to provide for me. Why would I take your sin? That is your burden." Okay. Go on by children. Children, when you live in your father's coffin, they say that is the part you pay him back for his likeness, for his standard, for his name even. You hear somebody say, "You talk this just like your father, boy. You just look just like that man. The day that man body going, the child is doing his prayer. They say, Daddy, thank you. Let me pay you back for that. You know what? My children will be better than my foolish wife. Babe, son and daughter, how much of daddy's sin we go to? Dad, you is we God, you is we Guru. Your job is to provide for we. How we gonna take sin from you? You is like a God in front of we. You have to take up the burden to feed we. We didn't ask to come here, Dad. We didn't ask you to make we. So the sin is yours. When Valmiki took that, and I'm summarizing a discourse for you, Valmiki went back to his godfather and he says, I now realize the trap I am in. Could you please help me? And Valmiki is the person is told, go and chant the name of Ram. You're so sinful, you don't qualify to do prayers, fasting, jap. You do not have the accolade to do it. You do not qualify. There are different ways to jap. When persons get christened, you hear the prayer in your ears. But you ever see how Gurus give you the book and the pen? The first way to jap in English is to write the jap. Gurus, in order for you to learn the mantra, it just makes sense. Write it, practice pronouncing it until you memorize it, and then you go from there. When you practice writing, as you age and develop in the mantra, you will practice whispering it. Om Namah Shivaya. You will say it out aloud. Om Namah Shivaya, different prayer. And then one day, God bless you, as you become senior, you will be able to say it mentally. So the day we lie down on the bed, Manas prayer, and you catch a pain in the dream, Om Namah Shivaya. But it is a work in progress. They say, listen, you can't even write this name. You don't qualify. You're so sinful. Don't say Rama, say Mara. The Guru told them to say it backward. Mara, 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 Mara. But in saying Mara, 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 in the middle of the Mara, it had Ra and Ma. So he started to say Ram. So although the person, how there is no sinful people, there is rush the prayer. They doesn't say it with any type of religiosity or feelings or any type of emotion. They just do like a part. Ram, 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 Ram. Yeah, ma, say any prayers. Go ahead. The person had reached it, they're climbing. Valmiki was such a person, for example. And as he gained the blessing, he gained Saraswati. And Saraswati showed him how to write poem. Till today we're reading it. This one verse in Valmiki Ramayan, it have a funny question. Anasuya wants to teach her something. But the first thing she asks, you're married. Were you married for? Why did you marry him? Remember, he left a bow. He chose this girl. But she didn't have a choice. She father say, whoever left that bow, that way had to marry. And she was busy praying last night. Gauri Mata, don't let Ravan lift that bow. Let Ram lift it. In she heart to she God. Now, lady to lady, why you wanted him? Only in Valmiki you catch this. And the verse, the answer, she says, of all the good things that this person have, I don't know him. I'm now married. I'm now learning. But you know what he have? He have compassion. No matter how much weapons he have, no matter how valorous he is, no matter how much money, he don't boast about these things. Look, I got married, and the first thing this man did was give up the kingdom and all the gold and all the assets. And I watched that. I fight to walk with him in the forest. I did not want to leave him because of his persona. You see that way he had that daya, that compassion, that everybody, everything has something good in them. I respect him for that. That is why I'm married. That is why of all, he was the one I choose. Prem Sabolosya Pati Ramachandra ki Jai. She says, very good. It's good you could see the good in him. Because, and she went on to tell her about the tests and the hardships. Let me be fair, these two great people celebrating 59 years. I only have, I was a little boy, I only have 13 years under my belt. And for all the married people here, when you celebrate your anniversary, be honest. Is all your years is be happiness? All your years this be celebration. Some this be bitter, Baba. When you're learning, what is the marriage? When you're learning yourself. You're developing. The lady changed, and we hear that from Kali Mata last night. One day the girl has been 19, one day she has been middle-aged, next day she older. And you, the boy, had now to love the young girl, the middle-aged girl, the older lady. And something inside that you had to attract to this person. Have to want to drink the coffee with the person. Spend time with this person. But oh God, when you now married this man, so disgusting. They say your husband is your first son, you know how true. The lady one day, we just put on makeup and be best when you're courting, but when you're married and that makeup come off. Whoo. Then the Hindu just want to know how to win in the marriage. Because if we don't win, Anasuya is telling her, if you hear how mine went in the rough days, if you're careful, it will not work. Marriage is work. Marriage is karma. Some people have good karma and some people, truthful, don't have it. Rough road, easy road. When you watch different people in Ramayan, Mandodri married. When in Valmiki, they say, after he married Suparnaka, he married Kumkara, and he married Vibhishan. Then big brother said, my turn to marry. And he went and married the king of all the Maya, Mandodri, because of what power she had. But Ravan come from a house where they are theater. Why is Suparnaka, the person, the sister, so rude? And she wanted to go and interfere with Lakshman when they cut she nose? Because she was one sister with 3 brothers. For the elders here, all you know what I'm talking about. Theater is caused trouble with how the head is worked. It is act different. You're supposed to be one way, but oh God, you're your own enemy. Think Ravan is the grandson of Brahma. You come from Brahman and you're supposed to know all the praise, but look how you did. Causing trouble. And who inherits the trouble? When Ravan's body is lying lifeless, Mandodri gets to see not only husband dead, but all his son dead too. Because of what Suparnaka did, not Mandodri. It seems so unfair that I put myself, my father put me with this man, and somebody else take. Anasuya says, Seeta, a woman is different, you know. The soul that goes into the body of a woman, she has a little more sin. Don't vex with me, is the truth. She has a little more sin baggage than the man. That's the difference between man and woman in the eyes of God. Why? How? Prove it, Pandit. Watch the lady. Puberty come, pain. Pregnancy come, pain. Menopause come, pain. One person is be sacrificing the bone marrow to make this child, the blood, the cells, etc. But in the court of law today, daddy and mommy have equal rights. We're both parents. When Pinda had to offer, daddy first. When surname had to put, daddy is he's the head of the home. So much so that when the girl is born, she belongs to the father. When the girl gets married, she belongs to the husband. And he said in the course of the girl's life, she'll belong to the son. Baba, I'll come in the present if my son bring me. For example. This thing, Anasuya, is very troublesome, you know. And if you are careful, it will work for you. But you have to work for it. You have to know what you're doing. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Uncle wanted me to explain one more thing for you. In the temple, I don't know if you know this. This is just for everybody, right? You ever realize when you go to do Lord Shiva prayers, you know my belly big, so I went in the back, Lyman, when we were young, and we watched how Tanti them putting Barafi Shivratri night. Look, Gulab Jamun, children. But somehow when they offer things by the lingam, it don't reach by me. You ever see that? When people offer things by the lingam, they empty everything by the lingam. But I put by the lingam, how to stay by the lingam. When I put by the Shaligram, for example, I will put some for him, and then I'll mix it for everybody else to get. It bless. Lord Vishnu wanted to know in same Brahmavaivarta Puran, how? Where's the difference? And Anasuya is showing it in an example, but she explaining how in husband and wife thing, Seeta, you got have rough days, you got have fight, you got have trouble, but you have to go through the trouble. You don't give up. So Seeta listening like a young girl. Remember, this is a young girl. She says in that Shiva and that goddess, it has good trouble, you know. They are always fighting. Last night, we hear how when he tells you, I like the Gauri form and not the Kali form, she get vexed with him. When Mahadev take the Trishul and cut off his son's head, do you think she was happy? When the lifeless body of Ganesh lie down and she said, why did you kill that? You make it? She wasn't happy then. It have another example of how did it follow. It had a time, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu end up on Kailash together. And Lord Shiva put Lord Vishnu in a position like a guru. And he said, Mahavishnu, could I ask you one or two questions? And when asking you the question, you come like my godfather, my guru, you're giving me information. When he finished, he said, thank you for telling me why the sun is raised in the east, why the sky blue, why the water blue, etc. Answers coming now about the creation. He said, Mahadev, one of the greatest things you could do for your guru is to feed your guru. Till today, when people do the Guru Diksha, you just put your godfather to sit down and you take out the food. But for the elders here, maybe in your time it was more prevalent. Nowadays, we young people hit all kind of shortcut. But, correct me if I'm wrong, when godfather eat the chana and the dal and rice or whatever, you remember the days they used to put the child to sit on the guru lap and feed a morsel. It is one handful, something to the child's mouth. From the jutta of the guru, that little prasad is considered the blessing. So Lord Vishnu eat, and just like what we just do when it has Shraddha, we just take out the little bit. He said, Shiv Baba, look, I leave a little prasad here for you. I touch it, I taste it. This prasad is for you. Eat it and ingest it. And when you eat it, you'll get blessed. 1, 2, 3. All gone. Reach home. Separate from two of them. Reach home by Parvati Mata. Every lady here, correct me if I'm wrong. Goddess, I get a chance to line. I'm saying it simple for children. I have people watching me online. I get a chance to line with Lord Vishnu. And I enjoy myself. I get one-on-one. Nobody interrupt that conversation. And I'm so happy, girl. She's smiling. And when it was done, he leave a little prasad for me. And I eat it and I feel the light of the universe come in my body. She waiting. Where my shit? You get prasad, eh? Where my shit? The lady says to him, you is the head of this house. You is my husband. You is the one I depend on for leadership. You have to lead me in this life to God. Blessed is the lady who has a husband you could respect like Seeta, Mata and Ram here, you know. You're guiding me, leading me correct. That's why I take your name. You have to set the standard in this house, not only for children, but for me as well. Where is my share? None. Okay, so your wife is nothing, she don't get vexed. You forget me, you didn't study me, you're selfish. What about your children? They depend on you. Nothing for them to. And the goddess puts a shrap. Please remember this little tidbit. So you could guide with this knowledge, you could guide your prayer. She says, oh Shiva, because of this greed, and you did not think about sharing your prasad, nobody will eat or touch your prasad. For this reason, you don't say Shiv Arpanam. Everything in Gita, give it in my name, use my name, touch it with my name, Krishna Arpan. When you do Shiv Puja, it is called Shiv Nirmalayam. Whatever you put for Shiva stays by Shiva. When you put Tulsi, the Chausat Yogini, the Shaligram, you could put some there and mix to share for everybody. But Shiva's Parsa, the person who ingests it, the mother said, when you take that, where you're praying for help, you'll get the opposite. Shiv worship is very funny. It has many rules like that. If the person using the Jap Mala, the Rudraks, and you know the flowers part where you just have the Sumiru, you call it. Imagine, just to throw out a point to you, if I go 106, 107, Om Namah Shivaya, 108, on the Sumiru, and I want to do more, and I just go forward, 1. By desecrating this, the rule for this, you lose the benefit of the jap. What's supposed to happen, Pandit? go the opposite way. Like if you're saying 108, 107, 106. Does it have rules for the prayer pundit? Yes, it have. The accountability. Do the prayers good, you get a blessing. Do it poorly, well, take what you get. It explains why people are doing prayers but are not seeing change in my life. I'm not seeing improvement. In this part, Anasuya says, just as how they had fights and struggles, prepare that in this marriage you now enter in, it will have fights and it will have struggle. And it takes prayer to give you the constant strength to work in marriage. And she's the first one to tell her, who do you worship today? And just a quick quiz for all the people senior to me. If I were to ask Uncle, what is the secret to 59 years marriage, and you ain't get fed up yet? People in that category might watch a young fella like me, pundit, boy, where you going to do? You just have to say prayers. All right. A simple example, one example. If somebody asks you where to do Saraswati prayers for, just for we conversation here as we getting ready to wrap up and nearly done, bear with me. You may use it as in a different way. I know Saraswati prayers when you're writing SEA, pass the exam. Or for the sweet rice. Get the A, get through, good. When you reach the maturity, totally finished with school, why are you still doing prayers for Saraswati? The senior married lady who had gone through many years of hardship and suffering is telling the novice, the young girl, Seeta, this is the secret to make it work. Pray to the goddess Saraswati, just as Valmiki did, for mental development, for emotional development, to have patience. How? When you are as a person, first year in marriage, all the mistakes this person make, all the disgusting ways, think about Keshava, use a towel, drop it right there. See the young girl say, he mother didn't teach you, know? He just expect me to pick up everything. You know? That man don't wash wares, that man don't cook, it's me and me alone. I don't go to work, come home and still be a housewife. It's so hard. Life is hard. It's difficult. Think about the girl. You know in your doubles, you eat slide pepper. That's all you know. You get married, somehow you learn to like what he like. The growing, eh? That's all I know. God bless you, you get a child, the same girl. If the child eating marshmallow inside the doubles, you eating that too. You seen people just eat ketchup inside doubles? No, baby like that, I find that cute. Mommy eating it too. How you do that? Who teach you to like that? Who teach you to understand? Think what I'm telling you. You know yourself alone as a woman. But I, Keshava, went to prayers and the child making noise. Me I know better. I say, auntie, like this child hungry. No, Baba. That cry mean the child want to sleep. No, Baba, that cry, that mean the child want to walk in or the child hungry. So my question was, auntie, who teach you that? Where you get that knowledge from? Saraswati, the goddess, this work with the mother. Whether you call it maternal instinct. When the girl hiding the secret text from the boy and the love letter in the bag in those days, and the mother say, let me check that bag. Who does say, hey, check them, follow them? Who does do that? I know if I wanted to drive, I had to go to school to learn. If I wanted to learn maths, I had to go to school. But the lady, according to our text, is a receptacle of goddess. And the goddess works within she. Imagine we talk about children. It's your body. If I want to lift my hand, lift your hand. Drop your hand, drop your hand. Good. Tell me where the knob, the button, the secret, where it is pressed. When time as a mother to make milk, start to make milk. And someday, stop making milk. How it is work? I don't understand this thing called lady, man. Seeta, in order to function in the many works you will have to face, that goddess, Veena, Vag, Saraswati, will give you the ability to do what? To forgive. Today, everybody here, forgiveness is important. But you see, to forgive in a marriage, it's critical. Think about every stupid thing a young husband or young wife will do or say. And you hold on to that memory. Remember 2 years, did he say so and so and so? The person had to forget. That's the only way we're going to make to the next anniversary. When the lash pass, when the push pull, me, I'm saying it correct, but it happened. When you're young and you're stupid and all the different abuse and different things happening at home, in order for you, whether you're divorced or you have to move on from that trauma, you have step one, you have to forget it. People go and they take tablets, people go for therapy, and those things are important and very good. But with your God, Saraswati Mata, today I bow into your girl. Bless me to forget and forgive. In the marriage, if you happen to be out of the marriage, help me to move on. Think about the widow. Think about the widower. For me, I will always say, you see, if a man have to die first, best he go. Truthful. A lady will live for children and grandchildren. She have this strength, this tenor to do it, to continue living. Uncle, lady gone, God forbid. Uncle ain't know how to make a cup of tea. Uncle can't drink this tea. At this age, I'm telling you, I'll be honest, I'll admit this. If Priya had day to drink this cup of tea, might not taste as sweet. I might be guilty of saying, hey, girl, you reach, come, let me drink one and drink tea again. You just get addicted to this company. You just get hooked on this partnership, good or bad. Last night I say when my mother and father used to get vexed with each other, regardless, go and bow by she foot. Absurd such, you know. But go and pay that lady respect. It is amazing how God make this thing called marriage, that in all these people God make, He make this one person for you. It is something to celebrate, but what you're celebrating is the blessing of the Lord. When people check compatibility, for example, it has something that is explained. Some people have it, some people don't. It is a gift of gab or the ability to communicate, but sometimes your lip don't work. In an example form, you ever hear somebody say, at a distance across the room, you see how he twists his face, that means he's ready to go. You see how he moving there? You see he stand up? You ready to leave? Who give you that? Who teach you that? In our belief, that is part of the goddess, the female, the God, working and developing you, nurturing you to understand this other person that God put for you. When somebody celebrate anniversary, that is what they're celebrating. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. She says, O Seeta, I'm reading Chaupai 2 after the 12th Doha in Ayodhya, Aranya. There are 4 types of good wife, faithful wife. Which one will you be? The person who looks at their spouse as equivalent to a God. The person who has that devotion to the person. And sometimes when I read this, people say, well, Pandit, he had to live like a God, you know. I can't worship here and he there like a Rakshas. Consider Mandodri, who was married to the Rakshas, was still faithful. Sometimes, yes, in marriage, people face tests. But you could be faithful in your prayer. God, forgive me, I married a fool. Oh, God, he's stupid. But he's my fool. Help him. You have a problem, help him. If we don't do that, and you can't pray for your spouse, the day the person gets sick, the day the person gets bald head, the day the person gets poor, then I go throw you away because, brother, you wasn't like that when I married you. You're different now. Seeta, if the person does not see the divinity in their spouse, the day the circumstance change, they will let it go. But, like you married a prince, but now what you're lineman with a pauper. Your foot getting choked, you're walking on ground, your father never let you walk, hardship, but you're still with him. Whatever road you walk it together, because good or bad, that is your God in your home. The second type, the person learns to adapt to other people, other men, out of respect for their husband. Other men become father, like a brother or a child, depending on the age. So there's no inappropriate talk. There is no disrespectful association, whether in front of the husband or behind. She says the third type of faithful person, they believe nothing to do with husband now. I believe, my father teach me, modesty, respect, virtue, because of my own God. I will remain straightforward. And the last one, a faithful wife, a good wife, is only faithful because she get a chance to break away or to do something unrighteous. Fear, afraid what will happen if I behave bad. Arguably, this also applies to men. This is the example of good people. He says, Devi, my advice to you, in all the torment and troubles that will come for a woman, sincerity in doing your duty in a marriage, keeping to your word whilst you are young, and when you are no longer young, will lead you to salvation. A woman is born, Doha 5 in Aranya, a woman is born with a burden of sin. And for that reason, she's always in pain. Whether you look at the menstrual cycle, when you look at menopause, uncle reached 65 and he still is a saga boy. He's still good, you know. But the lady now, she have vertigo, she have a rapid heartbeat, different things happen, and God make me so. God make me in this time when the place cold with air condition, I sweat in beads. God make me so. Because of the difference in her karma, her life has to be one of sacrifice. She feeds, she nurtures, she cares, and because of that way, she gets salvation, because of the hard work. When people will, you know, some people say, nobody know why it is doing this house now. People don't know what I went through. We say in 59 years, for 59 years I sacrificed in my way to have children, grandchildren, to make a house. But God sees this sacrifice that this lady makes. In our Dharma, we cannot only worship female and drag the female in our life. Man and woman could never be on equal footing. They're totally different. Else we'd get confused the roles between man and woman. But karma explains the difference between the female gender and the male gender. And when this person in your house is living this way, this is why we worship the female in our life. Till today, we say, Twamewa Mata, you're my first God, Mommy. You are my better half, wife. You are something that in Jana's case, when he gave his daughter in Kanyadan, you are the best gift I could give. Principal of Indra Vandi Harilala ki Jai. Principal of Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. As I am about to wrap up, I go back to the Bijak, or the book that has compiled all Kabir Das writings, Dohas, Shabdas. In Sabda 35, this is where he says, if you want money, you don't just call money, money, and money comes. The person has to work for it. They earn it. And then you work to keep it. You sacrifice. Likewise, if the person wants happiness, if the person wants joy, health, long-term liberation, then you don't just sit down and take the lip service and call for it, mukti, mukti, mukti. But one day you gain and you grow to work for it. In this example, he's talking about marriage. He says, and if the person gets married for the wrong reason, if the person has the wrong focus, marriage relationship will fail. But if you know Ram, in this verse he says Ram is the exit. He's the guy that will give you the wings to go, to achieve anything. He says, then let Ram be your beloved. Whatever you do, do it for Ram. Whatever sacrifice you are making, do it for Ram. Then the day you are taking the cotton and you're trying to turn it into string, the day you take the string to make it into gold, in all your activity, that day, because you are doing it for Ram, you're doing it for God, then all your activity becomes work, Seva, that will guide you to God, or to the happiness, or to the better days. You're struggling right now in marriage, there is not one person. How much love note you want to give me, Gil? When people have trouble, I agree, in your own life, I do in prayers, man. Why bad things has happened to good people? We coming up the road this morning and two cars decide to jump off the road. Like somebody's child. It have people who in the hospital yesterday start off with just the normal cold and the two lungs collapse. I agree. When you see those type of things, it does test you. Where was my God? But Guruji says, when you have the knowledge about what this life is, when you realize you're like the tongue, and if you move a little too far to the right or the left, the teeth will snap you. When you realize the precarious situation you find yourself in and things are not as hunky-dory as you like, then you don't take a chance with your time that God gives you. You don't take a chance with your spouse. You don't take a chance with your happiness. You don't take a chance with your children. You will find the person talking, asking, praying, doing good work, honest work to keep what you have after you get it. But what we just do, we just pray, God, give me the power, give me the strength, give me. But then, as I said last night, take 5 bad habits, go by the baby, and come back out with your 5 bad habits. You never work for the blessing. Today, in the example of text, after listening to 3 nights of Gyan Yagna, and we learn how Seeta Mata reached in the box. And that is why I make sure I touch on Seeta Mata this morning. It has so much more we could talk about. It has so much knowledge in the text. Today you learn about the Tulsi plant and why we don't eat from by the lingam, etc. The idea is, when you go to Gyan Yagna, you're supposed to be met with knowledge. And the person is supposed to walk away thinking, you know, out of everything that pundit say, this little piece, I will put it to practice, a little ebb. Then the yag was successful. This morning, with uncle and auntie that they celebrating their discourse by the blessings of Satguru Kabir Das, the idea is take the knowledge and let it guide you going forward. Don't just say, you know what, all I know is to say Ram. And that's enough. When your troubles are upgrading in this life, when you're 5 years old, your headache is be 5 years old. The bill is be $5. But when you get older, it's be thousands. The troubles and cancer and different things coming. If you stay only with paracetamol or caffeinol, you might be a madman. Depending on the sickness, it had to have a medication to work. Likewise, depending on the trouble, it had to have a praise, something, some difference that you could offer as an adult. Depending on your age, as a man, as a woman, something you could do to help fight the troubles, the deficiencies in your life. And when you have that knowledge and you put it into practice, then yes, I agree, we have examples of people that could make 59 years marriage. It is possible to be happy. It is possible to survive. It is possible to reach that age and you're not in pampers. You're not hung up. You're not suffering on a bed. God, when you come for me. It is possible to live a blessed life. And because of that blessing today, that is why we celebrate with these two people. The journey they walk is an example for you and I to do it, but do it how? Do it better. This is the message that Anasuya leaves with Seeta Mata. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai jai. Sajam cha varti sanyukta grahina yojitam mayam Deepam grihana devesham Trailokya timirapaham
Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Everybody, let's sing together.
Swami Jai Jagadisha Hare. Bhakta Jano ke Sangat Das Jano ke Sangat Jan mein dur kare. Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jo dhave par paave, dukh bin se जगदीश
Everybody say it
हरे
out.
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे
माँ दुर्गा, जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा। हे माँ दुर्गा, हे माँ दुर्गा। हे माँ दुर्गा, हे माँ दुर्गा। जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा, जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा। नारायणी ओम, नारायणी ओम। नारायणी ओम, नारायणी ओम।
जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा
जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा, जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा। हे माँ दुर्गा, हे माँ दुर्गा। हे माँ दुर्गा, हे माँ दुर्गा। जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा, जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा। नारायणी ओम, नारायणी ओम। नारायणी ओम, नारायणी ओम।
जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा जय जगदम्बे माँ दुर्गा
जय जगदम्बे। Everybody. While children are arting parents, for all of us here, those of you at home looking on, there are different people watching our satsang throughout these nights. And whilst I was trying to teach about what is sohar, what visarjan mean, how we used to do and how do we maintain our dharma in subtle ways and little ways, because our troubles are growing and morphing and our prayers is degrading. So we can't do that. And whenever Ramayan is going to close, there's a protocol to follow. One of the things we as Sanatanis practice is Ramayan Visarjan. Put your hands together and talk from your heart, dear Lord, it's time for the Katha to close. The Ramayan book is about to close. Hanumanji, we release you from the mandap. Dear Lord, I'm about to leave, receive prasad and head home. Let the blessing and the goodness go with me. Katha Visarjan hotu hai, सुनो वीर हनुमान जय जय राजा राम की जय लक्ष्मण जय बलवान जय कपीस सुग्रीव की जय अंगर हनुमान जय जय काकभूषुंड की जय जय Uma Mahesh. Jai Rishi Bhardwaj ki, Jai Jai Tulsi Av Adesh, Jai Swarga Lok Hari Katha, Jai Narak Nivaran Hari Adesh. Janam Janam Rati Ram Par, Yah Vardhan Ke Aan, दीजे दिन दयाल मोही बरढो दिन जन जान कथा विसर्जन हो तुहे सुनो वीर हनुमान रामायण मम हृदय में आया करहु तुम व्यास. I'm getting ready to leave. The Ramayan is about to close, but Ram, Seeta, leave with me in my heart. I put you here. Don't mind Pandit going and book closing. Stay with me. Shrota Sav Ashram Gaye. All the Shrotas are getting ready to leave this ashram. Ashram means where the Guru is reading, where he's doing his prayer, where the Guru, where the guide, where he's living. That is our ashram. Shambhu Gaye Kailash. Shiva will leave the Mandir and he will leave the Mandap and he will go back to Kailash. Rama Lakhan Shri Janaki Bharat Satrahan Bhai Shrota Gana Kare Jhori Khara. Let them leave, the four of them, the Parivar of Ram. Let them leave with the Shrota and go home with them. Live. Sab koi Sita Ram kahe Jodi Manakar. Let the God go with each and every person. Tonight I greet you, Sita Ram. Sab koi Sita Ram. That is where this comes from, everybody. Katha Visarjana ho tuhe. Suno Vida Hanuman. As we do Visarjan, we lift in the Kalsa and we sending you out, Shriram. Hanuman Baba, the prayer's done. It closing, Prabhu. When the mandap done and the prayer's closed, Hanumanji, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. But bless we now, go with we to reach home safe. Last part of our protocol, we do Gita part. In case we insult anybody, in case we hurt anybody, in case we made anybody feel bad, dear God, forgive we. Krishna, conclude our yagya. Tomorrow, we may not be in the temple. We may not be in the mandap. And as we conclude our yagya, as we break from the temple to go home, we do so with your blessings. We chant the names, the 18 names of the Gita. Gita Ganga Chagayatri, Sita Satya Saraswati, Brahma Vidya Brahma Valdi, Tri Sandhya Mukti Gehini, Artamatra Chirananda, Bhav Agni Bainashani, Veratray Parananta, Tatvarat Jnana Manjari. Dear Lord, in all your names, in all your forms, bestow your peace and your darshan, your grace upon all your children. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for this place, for everybody who cook, for everybody who contribute, for everybody who share the word of invite so that everybody could come and learn and listen. For those people that get to look and learn on television, on the internet, in different countries today, dear Lord, bless and share, stretch your hand and bless and touch in those homes where the marriage is in trouble, in those homes where the devotion, where the bhakti is deficient. Stretch your hand and help them. Save them, save children, protect the home, protect the girl children. God, safeguard them by the power of your name and your force of your glory. Hanuman Baba, lift them up in these dark times and dark age. Protect our leaders, protect our protectors, the police, etc. Be with them. Safeguard the boundary in our home. Stand over our doorway. By virtue of the prayer and the prasad that I ingest, bless my life to be more and more blessed and protected. Dear Lord, thank you for your grace. Thank you for 59 years with these people. Thank you for being home with me. And every day when it have a test in the life of children, in the life of our marriage, in the life of the car on the road, God, I depend on you today and I depend on you every day in every way. Just help this fool. God, I'm so foolish. Help me to remember you at the different moments in my life. Together, everybody. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
tvameva vidya
द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Together. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Pauna Putra Hanuman ki jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Syapati Ramachandra ki jai. Vindravan Bihari Lal ki jai. And when your prayer is finished, and remember how the old people used to say, Sab koi Sitaram. I wish you Ram and Sita inside you. I wish when you go home, take the power and the joy, everything you feel in this prayer, let it go home and let that light home by you. That is why the person is say, Sab koi Sitaram.